Guys, let's start with Joey Bosa because he
I don't
signed.
know if I'm talking to you yet.
Okay. Well, he signed last night. He did not go to the 49ers. He signed a one-year, $12.6 million deal with the Bills. According to reports, the 49ers offered $10 million.
I'll let Rico go first. It affects him more.
I think the 49ers offered him $10 million, David, as a courtesy to his brother Nick. Hey, I know you always wanted to play with him. I know your parents have always dreamed of you two playing together like you did back at Ohio State. You're often injured, but as a courtesy to Nick, we'll offer you a one-year, $10 million deal, but we're not going anything past that. He wanted more money, and then therefore he went with the Bills. It would have been a nice storyline, but let's be real. He doesn't stay healthy, and this is one where they may have won by losing.
All I'll say is it kind of played out the way I told you, which is Joey Bosa ain't no good. If you changed his name to like Hank Smithers, what is he? Take away the last name. What is he? 5 games, 4 games, 9 games. Hasn't been healthy in 4 years. And he got a 1-year deal for $12 million. Rico's right. I do agree with you. I think it was a courtesy. I don't think they wanted him. I think they just needed to appease Nick Bosa and go, hey, what do you want? Your brother chose love over you.
Yeah. But Nick, we tried. We it would have been a great story. They would have been out there, training camp.
And I think if you're the Bills, this is very simple. Your options were dwindling, and I don't think the Bengals are going to trade Trey Hendrickson within the AFC. So it's this or Stugatz. They chose this.
So he chose the $2 million extra dollars. Enjoy the snow in Buffalo.
You mentioned Trey Hendrickson there, and let's get to this news on him.
Sure.
People are kind of surprised that a move hasn't been made yet. Well, according to Dan Graziano, the holdup is teams that are interested are turned off by the Bengals' price tag for the 30-year-old. He went on to say it could be difficult to find a team both willing to sign Hendrickson to the new deal and part with the premium assets in a trade.
Mm-hmm. I think there's also a chance. What's coming out of Cincinnati? Joe Burrow is livid. Jamar Chase is pissed. Look, the Bengals are doing this with all their players, and Trey just may up and retire. So, no, you're not going to get a first-round pick, Cincy. You can pay the player, or you can let him go for market value. Those are your options. Yeah. And Trey is now wielding a little bit of a sword, Rico, and going, no, I'll tell you what. You keep screwing with me, I'll up and retire, make sure you get nothing.
Yeah, because if he walks away, now they're going to get even more desperate, saying, okay, give us something, and now how do I know Trey wants to come back? Yeah, this is a bad situation. I mean, but it's Cincinnati, and when have they ever done anything fiscally responsible? Let's just be real. They don't.
Let's talk about a team in their division, a minor deal, but DeAndre Hopkins signed there for 1 year, $6 million. I think that's just they need a body. Want to try it again with him. I mean, there's not much left with Hopkins. So
no, you know how I feel about it. Red zone target, you can mix him in. He's not a number 1. I wouldn't be comfortable with him as a number 2. It's just, man, I'm sorry, Father Time is undefeated.
Yep. Let's get to another receiver here, and that's Cooper Kupp. He is officially now being released by the LA Rams here, and according to reports, well, it's just about to heat up. The Patriots, Seahawks, and Lions. It was a report that said the Cowboys were interested, but now that's been kind of debunked a little bit there. But
wait, the Lions?
The Patriots, Seahawks, and Lions. There's a really strong market for Cooper Kupp, according to reports.
You can have him.
He's going to take the Tim Patrick catches?
No, look, the bottom line is if he wants to win and be Karl Malone on the Lakers and he plays for cheap, I'd welcome him here. That's fine. But if you look at the data and you look at the injury history, he hasn't had a Cooper Kupp type season since 2021. And he's 31 or 32 years old.
You know what?
I'm not into it.
I'm Brad Holmes. You're talking me into it. He's often injured. We'll take him.
Okay. I'm done. I tried.
Let's talk about his teammate, Matthew Stafford. We all know by now, yes, he is returning to the Rams, but he spoke recently on the Jason and Travis Kelce podcast, and he was talking, it was basically sounded like the difficulty of moving his family was a reason to return because he went through that experience with Detroit, didn't like that experience. And then he went on to say this, quote, I'm going to be here at least another year and hopefully some after that. We worked something out last year at the 11th hour to figure it out right before training camp with the understanding that we're going to readdress this if I want to play again next year. So we're going to do this all over again next offseason.
Yeah, I think they convinced him, hey, Matthew, let's just run this back one more time because I think we can add enough pieces. We got enough players here, and you go and you show him the third and the fourth down at Philly and say we were this close from advancing. Okay, we can't do this without you. They play on his ego. Your family likes it here. Just stay here. And we'll come back another year. They kicked the can. This is what they did. That's what the Rams did.
And they have to. I mean, listen, what Stafford's done is remarkable. And I don't think his play has slipped. He's still capable of winning a Super Bowl. The problem is what he's looking for doesn't align with what the team really can do. You can't pay a guy $50 million into his 40s. I want to remind everybody that when Tom Brady was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in his 40s, he made $20 million. And even if I have inflation, that's 30. Stafford's looking for 50 plus a year. And when you do 2 or 3 year extensions with quarterbacks, those are fully guaranteed. I get why the Rams almost dealt him.
And I know what you're going to say, but we'll kick the can one more year. Why? 'Cause more quarterbacks is coming out in next year's draft.
There you go.
Especially one particular one that plays at Texas.
Yes, David.
Oh, speaking of quarterbacks, guys, I am wearing my Steelers gear today for the very last time this year. Death to my franchise is happening. The reports indicate that Aaron Rodgers is going to sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
David, why do you view it that way, though?
You really? Come on,
Outside of his
Pastor.
personality and the olive oil enemas and the ayahuasca and the ibogaine or whatever else he's
a
on.
better quarterback than what you've had the last couple of years.
I get that.
He's
On
a
the
better
field,
quarterback
right.
since Roethlisberger.
Meanwhile, I have a 3-win football team. Like, I have a right to that opinion. You don't.
Hey, David, my whole team's being sold off.
on the field, I get it. It's everything else that won't lead to victories.
Hold on. I'm sorry. This is the same Pittsburgh Steelers.
That haven't had a losing season since you were 30.
Same Pittsburgh Steelers who basically have a parade of disgruntled wide receivers every year. The same Pittsburgh Steelers that Le'Veon Bell just quit in the middle of the year. The same Pittsburgh Steelers. But this is where you draw the line. This.
Hey, David. What?
This is the hill you draw
It's
the line.
Aaron Rodgers, dude.
Wait. David.
I'm just talking football. It makes a lot more sense. Here's
Football-wise, yes.
Do you realize how crazy everybody in the Pittsburgh Steelers organization has been?
I do.
In the
I know.
last decade.
Do you know where Aaron Rodgers should go? And I don't know why it's not getting any
Minnesota?
more play. Right there. If there's one team.
Can't.
Why?
Because Minnesota is going to roll the dice with JJ.
Okay, that's fine. Then if it's not them, he has to go to Pittsburgh. If it's not Pittsburgh, you go to the Giants.
Right.
That's the power rank.
Right.
There's no value to him going to a 3-win team.
You're right.
David, do you think you'd make the playoffs with Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback?
Well, it's easy to say that. We make the playoffs every year.
Kenny, let me help. Ready? Wow.
Okay, David, you know what? You're going to be tested for communion wine after this segment. Seriously.
Or crack.
Again, football-wise, wonderful. He can play. It's everything else.
David, you've just described your organization for the
Right.
last 15
Like
years.
Antonio Brown was a pillar of the community. What?
Juju. Hey, let's dance. And then, wait, let's bring in DK. Yeah, that should work.
David, this is a losing battle, buddy. I don't know if you got a Bible verse about a boat taking on water, but I'd flip to that page.
It's about to right now.
Oh,
I'm
my
sorry, man. I
goodness.
just can't be happy with it. Just can't be happy
Just
with
gonna
it.
keep, you just gonna keep calling that pot dark brown, huh?
On that note, that is in football today.